Yo, how's it going everybody? It's me, Arctic. Today's video, we're going to be looking at a question that I have seen a lot of people asking, and that's if Baal Electro Damage or Baal with an attack percent goblet is better. Now, I have done a bunch of calculations on this with different multipliers, and I have the results. So today we're going to be looking at Baal builds using like a baseline build right here with baseline stats, and figuring out which one of these is actually going to be better. But if you are new to the channel, remember to subscribe. I post content very regularly. Anyway, let's get back to the video. You guys are probably wondering why there's even this question going around the community right now, and this has actually come up because of one of Baal's passives that basically converts her energy recharge to electro damage percent for her, and people have been wondering whether or not it's better to invest in an attack percent goblet or an electro damage goblet. Even though usually elemental goblets are better for characters in general, just because 46% attack is not going to get you 46% more damage. Meanwhile, an electro goblet is going to give you 46% more electro damage in general. So basically, we're calculating off of the basic build and factoring in crit damage as well, because if you don't factor in crit damage, it actually makes the electro damage look a lot better because you are getting boosted damage basically. But when you actually factor in crits, you actually start to see how much more electro damage is actually getting you, even with these two different builds. And so our goal is to get at least 46% more damage from an attack goblet, otherwise electro damage is still better. And as you guys will see with my results right here, this is my results. I'll walk you guys through quickly how I actually calculate these. So basically, total attack right here is what we're gonna get after we factor in these baseline stats. So basically you multiply base attack by 100% attack, plus also the 311 from the flower, and that's going to get our baseline attack on these. And then with the attack cup, I basically just factored in another 46% attack in order to get the actual attack that we would have with an attack cup. And so with an electro damage cup with this pretty baseline build, you're going to be getting 2.2k attack, and with an attack cup you're going to be getting 2.6k attack. And already right there, that is not 46% more actual attack overall versus this right here. It's only actually about another 400-ish more attack, which I don't think is on par with what you'd be getting off of this base, but it's not going to increase your damage by 40%, if that makes any sense. Next factor that I decided to do is I decided to plug this into, like, for example, a 200% damage multiplier. So how you get this is basically just doubling this, which is how it works. You're going to end up with 4.4k right here, and that's how much its baseline damage is going to do without a crit. And then you're also going to multiply that by the crit damage, which is 140. So you multiply that by a factor of 2.4, and that'll actually give you basically, if you multiply 4.4 by 2.4, you're going to be getting like 10k right here. And that's how you basically calculate up to the crit damage. And so that's basically the process I went for the rest of these. And then also right here, this right here is the extra electro damage we're getting from that, so it's the third number right here. So as you can see, with a 200% multiplier, the electro damage is actually higher after it actually factors in the electro damage, but it is lower when it's only factoring in crit damage. And that is generally how electro damage bonuses and damage bonuses work. They give you like a bit more damage based on the actual amount of the crit damage, because it factors in after your crits actually take into effect. Now we're also doing a damage using the ult level 10 talent on Baal, which is 721. Now you actually can get higher than this if you cast with 60 stacks. It's like a 1120 multiplier, I think, whenever you get to her max 60 stacks. But basically, we're just doing this as a baseline out of what you can kind of expect from a Baal build. Now, this isn't fully fleshed out, really, on here, what you're going to be seeing right here. You can still definitely get a lot more, like, damage bonuses, all sorts of other things with, like, builds, that kind of stuff. However, what actually happened with this is that, as you guys can see, the electro damage, basically, from this is at 55,000. Meanwhile, the attack build is at 45,000, so you're getting 10,000 more attack off of this. And now you're also, even if you aren't critting, you're going to be gaining like more damage, just because the damage bonus applies constantly, basically. And then the last thing I wanted to do to actually make this in a more of a practical sense for you guys is to put it to electro damage and ER damage as basically a fully maxed out Baal build. And this is basically the build that I'm going to end up having, where I'm going to have a 102 electro damage. And so basically with that, I ended up getting 76,000 on my ult right here. And then the second build right here is an Attack Goblet with 56% Electro Damage, and that you're going to be able to get that from like Energy Recharge. And yeah, that's about how much you're going to be able to get from like Energy Recharge as a substat, something like that. And so that came out at 71,000. So a little bit less of an actual difference, which is actually relatively surprising. However, the Electro Damage still comes out on top. And also, guys, keep in mind that it's also possible to get attack rolls on your Electro Damage Goblets. So it kind of makes Electro Damage Goblet better just because you have a possibility of getting attack on that as well. You can get higher crit stats with your attack percent. And generally, these are going to kind of balance each other out a little bit. However, I still think that Electro Damage is still a bit safer bet to go with, and is going to have a higher max damage potential. If you guys liked the video, remember to subscribe. Anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm definitely going to do more of these calculations in the future, actually figure out how much damage Baal's going to be doing day 1 with my own artifacts, and then maybe some like standard builds like I kind of did with this video. But anyway, it's been me, Arctic. I will see you guys next time. Farewell.